what you heard is murder, murder, you gon' need protection. Some blinded couldn't see, so look for me to come and give direction. Who hold the crown, it ain't no conversation. I'm being modest, should be silent unless you paying homage. Remain the hottest, can't stop us, that's just being honest. And making hits, I never had problems munching at the party. Don't get me started, don't compare me to the newest. Oh no, for every one of you there's 100 more when I watch them come and go. My track record ain't coincidental, and these verses is like verses consistently killing y'all with instrumentals. Tell me, what would y'all do without me? Kill yourself for even thinking something crazy about me. I'm like Aaliyah, champ, now watch me roll with dope. Just watch them choke, cause everything I drop is dope. Now watch them all go up in smoke.
I came here to raise hell, I can't lie. One shot, one kill, it's real, I aim high. Don't shoot one shot if you ain't ready to die. Never get it, I got shooters for hire. Cause you don't want it, I have you like I. Better back the you done, so I tried. That weak shit will never slide, I despise. You are now not in the presence of nice guys.
Alright fans, here we go. It's time for the bout you've all been waiting for.
This crowd going wild.
My God, look at that.
He is in trouble. Look at his legs.
The crowd is electric.
Tyson playing it on. Down goes Berto. Into the rope. The right by Barkley and Hearns is down. Oh, down goes Chavez for the first time in his career. A shot by Evander Holyfield. Castillo's in trouble. What a fight! It's showtime! Welcome to the entertainment and fight capital of the world, Las Vegas. We are inside the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino, where the pound-for-pound king of boxing, Floyd Mayweather, will once again step into the ring in a fight they're calling high stakes. You're watching a Showtime Boxing special edition of Weigh In Live, Mayweather versus Berto. The fans, look at this crowd. It was thick outside the MGM Grand Garden Arena when the doors opened at noon, a local time. The lower bowl of this arena quickly filled up. Fight fans eager to witness Mayweather, Berto, and the undercard fighters hit the stage. Floyd Mayweather arrived at the MGM Grand with his entourage just a short time ago. He says tomorrow night's fight is it. After nearly 2 decades in the ring, Mayweather has been adamant that he will retire after this fight as he looks to go 49-0 and tie Rocky Marciano's hallowed mark. The man standing in his way of perfection is Andre Berto, a former 2-time world champion, but unlike Mayweather, sans the entourage. He's heard the criticism of this being a mismatch, but Berto contends after 2 years of nagging injuries, he's finally healthy to do what could not be done through 48 fights that shocked the world and beat Floyd Mayweather. Well, our coverage, it begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Countdown Live here on Showtime. It's Ishe Smith takes on Vanes Martirosyan in a 10-round middleweight fight. Mayweather, Berto, they're going to step on the scale here in just a few moments. But as we take a look at the entire Saturday night lineup, you'll see on Showtime pay-per-view, one of the strongest Mayweather pay-per-view fight cards ever assembled. 4 meaningful, interesting fights, 3 of which for world titles. The main event, Floyd Mayweather puts that WBC, WBA, the lineal welterweight titles on the line against Andre Berto. The co-main, it's a rematch of an early fight, a fight of the year candidate. You've got Puerto Rico's Roman Rocky Martinez putting his WBO junior lightweight title on the line against Mexico's Orlando Salido. Badu Jack making his first defense of his WBC super middleweight title. He takes on England's George Groves. He's got a large contendage here today. And we'll start the pay-per-view broadcast off with another Puerto Rico versus Mexico rivalry. Jonathan Oquendo takes on Johnny Gonzalez. All right, let's bring in the guys who are going to call all the action Saturday night. MAURO RANALLO, Al Bernstein, Paulie Malignaggi. I'm Brian Custer. Guys, good to see you. Paulie, I'm looking at you. Have you done some sparring rounds with Mayweather, Berto? What happened?
Yeah, this is sparring, not with those guys, though. Those guys are ready for each other.
You know, last time we were here, there was over 11,000 people in here to watch Mayweather Pacquiao just to weigh in. But I'll tell you, we got some good energy here. These fans here to see Mayweather Berto. Al, let me start with you. Size up the main event for us.
Well, obviously the overarching theme of this is what you referred to before, and that is that Floyd Mayweather is saying this is his final fight. And if it is, that means this is his final weigh-in of this magnitude where he is going to walk into weigh-in. Now, he is used to this scene. Andre Berto, the 32-year-old two-time former champ, but a man who has not really walked into this kind of scene before. And we'll get some clue maybe as to how he's going to deal with the pressure of this fight. And one last thing, there's no question the burden of proof in this fight is on Andre Berto.
Well, you know, our co-main was really a slugfest the first time around. So, Paulie, let me come to you. Do you think the sequel can be as good as the original when you talk about Martinez and Salido?
Well, sometimes sequels live up to the hype, and sometimes they're total duds. Here's the thing about these two guys. They made such an exciting fight the first time around. You can't see it not being the same again. It's going to be some adjustments to be made. Salido wants the rough and tough kind of fight. Martinez wants to be that cutie pie type of fighter and move around and be shifty. The problem is Salido will get dirty and make things rough. We'll see how Martinez reacts to that.
Well, I'll tell you, even though it's the Mexican Independence holiday weekend here, there's a lot of Brits here in the audience, and boy, they're going crazy for George Groves. He's taking on Badu Jack, and I'll tell you, Mo, I think that fight could steal the show Saturday.
Yeah, Ricky Hatton's not the only fighter that can bring the Brits across the pond. St. George Groves, a huge contingent of fans here. He's hoping the third time is the charm after going 0-2 against one of the greatest super middleweight champions ever in Carl Froch. It's the maiden voyage for Badu Jack, and I really think this is going to be a competitive fight. I think the power advantage lies with Groves, but when you come from the money team like Badu Jack, it's all about hitting them and not getting hit back.
And of course, we're going to start the pay-per-view broadcast off with Johnny Gonzalez taking on Jonathan Oquendo. Listen, it is time for the fighters to step on the scale. Let's head down to the stage. First up, Salido, Martinez. Here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas for the official weigh-in for tomorrow night's big night of action on Showtime pay-per-view, brought to you by Mayweather Promotions. At this time, we bring out fighters in our semi-main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Junior Lightweight Championship of the World. It's a rematch in a classic Mexico versus Puerto Rico boxing showdown. First, ladies and gentlemen, here is the challenger from Ciudad Obregón, Sonora, Mexico. He is the number 3 WBO world contender, the former 2-division champion of the world, Orlando Siri Salido. And his opponent from Vega Baja, Puerto Rico, the 3-time and current WBO Junior Lightweight Champion of the World, Roman Martinez. And now we invite our fighters to the scale. This world title bout has a weight limit of 130 pounds. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Mexico's veteran of 58 professional bouts and 12 world title appearances, please welcome the challenger, Orlando Siri Salido.
You got to stay back behind the line. Hold on, man. Put your arms down. No, come on. Come on. Tell him in Spanish. Keep his arms down. 130.
Orlando Salido weighs in right at the limit of 130 pounds. And And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the defending champion in his 8th world title appearance, representing Puerto Rico and defending his title, the WBO Junior Lightweight Champion of the World, Roman Martinez.
Hold on, man. $129.5.
Martinez weighs in at a ready 129.5 pounds.
Well, the first time these two guys fought, they both described it as a war. Martinez dropped Salido twice. Salido also had a point taken away for low blows. Something that Martinez's camp told us in the fighter meeting is they have already talked to the referees. They say, hey, look out for that, Al, in this fight.
Yeah, Orlando Salido is a fighter who is rough and tumble and has had a couple points deducted. I think this is a fight where both fighters are probably better prepared than they were even for their first match.
As these guys get ready to face off, they both say they're going to start off faster this time around.
Rocky Martinez has said, I'm knocking Salido out this time. He was down twice. This time I'm keeping him down. We'll see.
Martinez also called Salido a dirty fighter. So that's something also you want to watch out for in this fight. Salido responded with, I'm going to knock him out this time around, Paulie.
Who isn't dirty at this level? Come on, man. There's a fight.
Like our main event participant Floyd Mayweather, Orlando Salido with a 19-year career, but he's had a much tougher road of a 4-time champion who was looking to reclaim the title. He lost against Salido in Puerto Rico. He's happy that this fight takes place in neutral territory.
All right, let's go down to the stage. Here's Jim Gray with Salido.
All right, Felix De Jesus will translate for us. Orlando, your thoughts as you get ready for this rematch.
¿Qué está pensando ahora para esta revancha?
Bueno, estamos pensando hacer las cosas bien, no queremos tener ningún error el sábado en la noche. Nos hemos preparado mental y físicamente para recuperar el título.
We're thinking of doing everything correctly this time, and we have physically prepared ourselves for Saturday night.
What have you changed?
¿Qué ha cambiado?
Pues cambió los sparring que tuvimos sparring de gran calidad. Cambiamos casi todo, ¿no? Le metimos más fuerza porque es otra división para mí, pero nos sentimos bien, seguros y fuertes para recuperar el título.
We have changed everything, especially the sparring. We're more prepared this time. We have, since it's a higher division, we're just more prepared, more stronger for tonight, for tomorrow night.
Best of luck.
Suerte, Orlando.
Gracias. Y viva México.
Thank you, and viva México.
Roman, how much tougher do you believe it will be a second time?
¿Qué más fuerte va a ser esta segunda pelea?
No, verdaderamente que ella ha hecho un trabajo excelente, una gran preparación para volver a repetir la misma dosis a Orlando Salido este sábado.
I'm going to give him the same dosage as I did last time. I came more prepared for this fight.
Is there anything that you felt you had to change?
¿Hay alguna cosa que tú pensaste que tenía que cambiar?
No, la primera pelea pues, fue una pelea buena, una guerra. Él está sacando excusas de que los jueces, de que esto, y había uno de Puerto Rico, los otros en Estados Unidos, vieron la pelea igual. Pero esta vez pues, va a salir de duda aquí en Las Vegas el 12 de septiembre y repetir la misma dosis.
No, he thinks it's going to be the same dosage as the first fight. He had a little complaint last time that it was a Puerto Rican judge, a U.S. judge. So I'm going to show it here in Vegas that I can win him here in Vegas also.
Best of luck. We'll talk to you tomorrow night, Roman.
Suerte, Roman.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
It's a title fight. Al, why don't you walk us through the numbers here in the tail of the tape? What stands out to you?
The height and reach advantage of Roman Martinez is important. He's going to box from the outside. Orlando Salido at age 34, a veteran, has been fighting since he's 15. The question is, when will he get old, if ever? He says, not yet. 2 more years left on my career.
Well, it is time for our main event. Floyd Mayweather, Andre Berto, they will step on this scale in just a few moments. And, you know, Al, Floyd Mayweather has heard it. Andre Berto has heard it. The criticism about the choice of Andre Berto. Talk to me a little bit about that in selecting Berto as his choice.
Well, Floyd Mayweather, because of the commerce of boxing, gets to choose his opponents. And there were some issues. Keith Thurman wasn't available because of an injury. Danny Garcia because of scheduling. Amir Khan, they weren't sure about Ramadan. They ended up settling on Berto. He and Mayweather have been circling each other for a couple of years. Berto suffered the slings and arrows of some injuries and losses, but he says, I'm ready.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Andre Berto. Usually Steve Farhood's our boxing historian. How about Mo coming in, giving us a great nugget today? First time Andre Berto's ever been an underdog going into a fight like that.
The mother of all underdogs.
You're right about that. Hey, look, he said his whole career turned around when he hired Virgil Hunter as his trainer. What do you think Virgil Hunter has done for him mentally, physically, as a fighter?
Well, I think when you change trainers, you're looking for a change of pace. You're looking for something different, not just on the psychological level, but obviously on the physical level. Virgil is big on that psychological level. You know, he'll have a talk with the fighter, and you know he'll try to get down to the problem and develop that confidence. You know, on top of which Berto was coming off a lot of injuries, so some of the times he was losing, maybe it wasn't just him. Maybe he was dealing with some of the injuries. You put that package together: new trainer, more confidence, healthy Andre Berto. You might get the best Andre Berto yet.
Floyd Mayweather says this will be his last fight. He also told us in the fighter meeting two things that is important to him right now: family, his legacy. As you take a look at him, what do you think his legacy will be if he wins, Mo?
Well, in the ring, he sealed his legacy by defeating his pound-for-pound rival Manny Pacquiao in his last fight. He will no doubt go down as one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time, right up there with Willie Pep and Pernell Whitaker. Here's a master craftsman, a defensive maestro. Maybe not always the most entertaining, but he lives and dies by the credo: make them miss, make them pay. And Floyd Money Mayweather on the verge of equaling history and looking to go 49-0. And that 0 means a lot to him.
Yeah, he says, hey, look, if I win today, that really, or should say Saturday, that would put a stamp, he claims, on his legacy. It is time for the main event. Mayweather, Berto on the scales. Let's go back down to the stage. Here's the always classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas, we are ready to weigh in the main event of the evening, brought to you by Mayweather Promotions and Showtime Pay-Per-View, presented by Tecate con Carácter and sponsored by Creed, starring Sylvester Stallone and Michael B. Jordan. This Thanksgiving, fight for your name. And now we're ready to invite our fighters to the stage. First, here is the challenger from Winter Haven, Florida, by way of Haiti. He is a two-time welterweight champion of the world. Please welcome Andre Berto.
You got your jacket off.
Well, here comes Floyd Mayweather, 38 years old, 17 years now in the game, or 19 years as a professional fighter, 17 of those years as a world champion. This will be the 4th straight year Mayweather will be the highest paid athlete in any sport. And you know, he said at the press conference, this is chess, not checkers, and he's playing Andre Berto a little bit here. How about making him wait as he casually strolls to the stage?
Well, and it's interesting you bring that up, because he also said, and this is part of the mind games about Floyd Mayweather, and we're all just living in his world right now, he said he almost wants to play checkers against Berto, because he said there's going to be some knockdowns, he's going to be more aggressive. We'll just have to wait and see.
Floyd Mayweather getting ready to make his way and step on the stage. Here's Jimmy Lennon Jr. once again.
And now, here he is, the boxing sensation, bidding farewell to competition in the ring, the pay-per-view king and pound-for-pound superstar, the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather. And now we're ready to bring our fighters to the scale. Weight limit for this fight, 147 pounds. It's for the unified WBC and WBA welterweight championship of the world. First to the scale is the challenger, ranked the #1 welterweight in the world by the WBA, the former world champion in his 9th world title appearance. Please welcome the challenger, Berto. Andre Berto weighs in at a trim and ready 145 pounds. And now, ladies and gentlemen, in his remarkable 26th world title appearance, here is the 5-division world champion, the current undefeated WBC, WBA, welterweight, and super welterweight champion of the world, Floyd Money Mayweather.
Back up.
All day long. TV all day long.
146.
Floyd Mayweather weighs in at 146 pounds.
Well, Virgil Hunter told us for years, he said Andre Berto was just too stocky, and he was going to lean him out. And I'll tell you, he looked chiseled, Al Bernstein, 145 and a half.
Absolutely, and came in well under the limit. Clearly, that's their game plan. And movement has been an issue for Berto, so perhaps this leaner version will be able to move better.
And I stand corrected at 145. And once again, Al and Paulie, Mo, you've got Floyd Mayweather here, big fight, and another controversy. A distraction he has to deal with before the fight.
Yeah, you know, with the whole IV scandal, shall we call it, taken before the Manny Pacquiao fight, he was supposedly he wasn't allowed to take the IVs. It can supposedly mask a performance-enhancing drug or an agent, but at the same time, as you see them yapping at each other here. At the same time, Mayweather had gone through the random drug testing process throughout the last training camp, even before then. And having gone through it myself, they come to test you even up until the week before. I just see some jawing here.
Well, it's clear that Andre Berto is not overwhelmed by the magnitude of the moment, giving as good as he's getting in this face-off with Floyd Mayweather.
Folks, listen to this crowd as these two faced off. Andre Berto told us in the fighter meeting, the harvest is coming Saturday night.
He claims he's ready to reap the harvest and win this fight. We'll see.
Let's go back down to the stage. Our Jim Gray now with Andre Berto.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. Andre? You were laughing and smiling, and you were looking at Floyd. What were you looking at, and what were you saying?
I'm just saying, yeah, man, like I said, man, we're here for a reason. And I don't get caught up in all the rest of the shit. I already been through. I already been through a lot. And I'm here for a reason. And I'm over here on Saturday night, we're gonna go ahead and do what we do.
And the fact that absolutely nobody is giving you a chance strikes you as what?
It don't matter. Coming from where I come from, we never had a chance to come out of that. Yeah. But just the fact that I'm here, it tells you something. Yeah. So I ain't listening to none of that.
Yeah. Have you heard of Roberta Vinci?
I don't know.
She beat Serena Williams today. She was unranked in one of the biggest upsets ever. Yeah. Is that the type of a performance, and can something like that, lightning strike twice on the same weekend?
Of course, man. God is good. So everybody just tune in.
Best of luck. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.
Appreciate it.
All right. Back to you, Brian.
Thank you. Very much. He's gonna talk to Floyd Mayweather again. Floyd having to deal with another distraction before a big fight, as you pointed out. He had the IV thing that he had to deal with. But Mayweather says it's happened before. He knows how to compartmentalize, and he'll have to do it again here with Andre Berto.
Well, clearly, he's faced issues prior to a fight before and has generally been perfect at getting past them. They've come in a variety of nature of items. In this case, it's the news story that hit in the last day or two. But still, Floyd Mayweather is a fighter who knows how to compartmentalize, and that's why he does a good job.
All right, let's go inside the numbers here, Al, as we take a look at the tail of the tape. What stands out to you in this fight?
What's interesting, the height and reach advantage of Mayweather is of some import because shorter fighters and people that don't have enough reach have generally not fared well against Floyd Mayweather. So we'll see if he can utilize that to his advantage.
You know, Paulie, just listening to Andre Berto, let me tell you something. That sounds like a confident man. And look, he knows he's a big underdog in here, but as he pointed out, I'm healthy now. I'm here to fight.
Yeah, he has a lot of motivation to prove a lot of critics wrong, and just a lot of motivation in the fact that he remembers where he comes from humble beginnings. He's been through a lot during his career, having to face some adversities, taking losses he wasn't supposed to take, certain injuries that have slowed him down. He feels like it's redemption. It's a chance at redemption.
All right, let's go back to the stage. Here's Jim Gray now with Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd, will you ever get on a scale again, and if you do, will it ever matter? This the last time?
Last time I'm ever getting on a scale, but I want to thank all the fans in here.
What would you like to have to eat that you've been denying yourself now for this past couple of decades?
It has always been easy for me to make the 147-pound weight. I just can't wait to get out there and get a fan's excitement tomorrow.
Now, we had a huge upset today. Serena Williams, who everybody basically says is the best female tennis player ever, got beat by someone who was unranked. So obviously you're aware of the dangers, having had lightning strike here today. What concerns you most about Andre Berto? Everybody is summarily dismissing him other than you.
You know, I don't overlook any opponent, but you know, I've been here before. I know what it takes when it's a fight of this magnitude. Just stay focused, stay on a parallel path, and go out there and do what I do best, and that's win.
When will it hit you that this is the final walk, the final time, if in fact it is?
You know, out of a 19-year career, almost 20 years, to be world champion 18 years, you know, I couldn't do it without all the fans.
The question though is, when will it hit you?
I don't focus on that. I look at this as he's another top guy. He has a high knockout ratio. He's a rugged competitor, but I've faced everybody in the sport of boxing. I faced Pacquiao, I faced Cotto, I faced Canelo. I've already faced the best fighters.
Final thought, no one knows when Father Time will strike. You've stayed on the schedule. You've done exactly what you said you would do. You would fight every September and every May on the Showtime contract. At some point, will that catch up with you, and could that be tomorrow, or do you feel that you're well rested and well rejuvenated after the Pacquiao fight?
We'll just have to see. You know, I'm in top condition. We had a great training camp. You know, training camp went tremendous. But the main thing tomorrow is going out there, being at my best, And since Pacquiao didn't get a fans a good fight, tomorrow is going to be a great fight.
Floyd, Pacquiao's demanding a rematch. Your thoughts?
I'm with Showtime. I only focused on Showtime fighters.
Well, it'll be on Showtime pay-per-view tomorrow night. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
All right. Back to you, Brian.
All right, Jim, and Floyd Mayweather throwing one last jab there at Manny Pacquiao. All right, Mo, sum up what you've seen here today.
Well, it's obviously a moment that everyone should soak in, if indeed it is going to be the last dance for the perennial pound-for-pound king Floyd Mayweather. We will have to wait and see, but he seems to be in a good place mentally, physically. And how about Andre Berto again, knowing that everyone has written him off, but saying, hey, I come from Haiti, I come from the slums of Haiti, and having lost family members to an earthquake and having to overcome career-threatening injury, that shoulder injury he suffered against Jesus Soto Caras early in that fight, knocking down Soto Caras in the 11th round before losing the fight eventually. And yes, people can say, well, he's 3-3 in his last 6 fights, but one thing you can't question, guys, is the heart of Andre Berto.
Hey, I don't know anyone who's ever said they haven't seen an all-action Andre Berto fight. He comes to fight. Your final thoughts here, Al?
Well, you know, I think obviously we've seen here tonight a focused Berto who wants very badly to win this fight. I thought I detected a little bit of emotion from Floyd Mayweather, kind of sensing a little bit that this was the last time he's going to do this. It was kind of intriguing.
Paulie?
I'm excited for the fight. You know, I think Andre Berto is very motivated. He's got a lot to fight for, not just critics, just for himself. Like I said before, everything he's been through. Mayweather has a lot to fight for because he's protecting that legacy. I think styles make fights. Berto has enough speed to touch Mayweather. Mayweather's a little older. Defensively, he's not as explosive. I think this is a fight that, you know, it could pose a bit more problems for Floyd than people think. Well, let's see.
Have you talked about styles, because let's talk a little bit about strategy now. Al, let's go into the X's and O's of this fight, and let's talk about both fighters, what they have to do to be successful. Let's start with Berto.
Well, we've established the fact that Andre Berto is a very big underdog, 14-1 in some places. The question is, what does he have to do to win this fight? Andre Berto's toughness is unquestioned, but his strategy and execution has often been a problem. He needs to fix several things to pull the upset against Floyd Mayweather. He has an excellent jab, but it's often dormant. He needs to keep throwing it if he hopes to win. Sometimes Andre has long lull periods without punching, and that will play into Mayweather's hands. He has power in the right hand, and it bailed him out when Josecito Lopez was outboxing him. He needs to throw this punch often in this match. When Berto does pull the trigger on his overhand right, it can get there effectively. This kind of powerful right is essential for Berto to pull the upset. Floyd Mayweather has talked about being more aggressive in this match, but if he is, it will come within the confines of his normal skill set. The jab is always a staple of Mayweather's attack, but it's even more important here because Berto gets hit so regularly with that punch. The constant movement that we usually see from Mayweather is important because Berto has trouble with that lateral movement. No one in the last 48 Mayweather fights has really avoided being hit by his right hand very well, so we can expect to see a lot of that punch. A lazy jab, like this one from Marcos Maidana, can offer the quick-handed Mayweather an opportunity. Here, he uses the right as a counter. He'll also throw the right after using his own jab, and he'll use it as a lead punch. He has many ways to land it.
Well, Virgil Hunter said, look, we can't outthink Floyd Mayweather in the ring. We just hope we disrupt him. Guess we'll see what happens. Want to remind you, our coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Countdown Live on Showtime Saturday as Ishe Smith takes on BOUTS in a 10-round middleweight fight. Mayweather, Berto, Showtime pay-per-view. It comes your way 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. That's the main event. In the co-main, Roman Martinez puts his title on the line again against Orlando Salido. That's a rematch. And then you have Badu Jack defending his super middleweight title for the first time. He takes on George Groves of England, and will begin the pay-per-view card off with Johnny Gonzalez taking on Jonathan Oquendo. That's going to do it here from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. For Paulie Malignaggi, Al Bernstein, Mauro Ranallo, Jim Gray, and our entire Showtime sports team, I'm Brian Custer. Good night from Las Vegas.
Sarapov. Facing him in the ring, made his pro debut on the card of Bronner versus Porter with KO in 81 seconds. Hard.